All right, we are live on YouTube, and I'm not going to do the fancy intro that I normally do for this impromptu show here. As you notice, folks, the title of this stream is called General Subscriber Hangout Number 1, Ask Coach Eli Anything. And I'm going to wait for some more people to come before I start chatting a little bit more. We got 5 people in the box right now. I know it is almost midnight on the East Coast. It's 9 p.m. Pacific on the West Coast where I'm at. So many of you may be catching this on the replay. But I was thinking earlier during my break of my last live stream, how can I give back more to my community? And how can I start making even more of a difference to truly help the people that really want to be helped? And I came up with what I feel is a brilliant idea. I'm going to continue doing a regular stream almost every day, like I've been doing. My main stream. It's going to be on a topic. It may have some reaction videos involved with it, or I may have some guests on, or I may be interviewing somebody of that sort. But in between that, when I have time, I'm going to be doing 2 additional streams every day, and they're going to be impromptu streams just like this one, where I'm going to be answering any questions that anybody has regarding your business and personal needs. If you've got an issue in a relationship you're in with a man or a woman, or even if you're in a gay or lesbian relationship, I can definitely share my opinions on what can help you get through any issues you're struggling with. If you're married, I can give you some advice. I've never been married, but I've had many friends that have been married. And trust me, I understand how that shit goes. I've seen some of my friends go through divorce, and I've remained friends with both sides, the man and the woman, and I've heard both sides. So I understand what really happens in these situations. And in all honesty, if you've ever lived with a woman but never been married, it's the same thing as being married without the legal documents, without the legal agreement between you and the state, especially if you're here in the U.S. If you're in another country, however it works over there. In Canada, it's probably by province, and maybe in other countries it's by province as well. I'm not quite sure, but here in the States, in the U.S., marriage is a legal agreement between you and the state. Also, I can help you folks out with your business needs. If you're an entrepreneur and you're struggling to grow your business, I can give you some tips on what can get you further ahead. If you're a corporate employee or you work for somebody else and you're tired of your job, or let's say you're in the corporate world and you keep getting passed up for promotion, it's not happening for you, I can definitely hear your story and share my best feedback. I have a lot of experience working in the corporate world as well. I can also help people that are in the corporate world and don't want to work with somebody else anymore and want to make the transition to a self-employed entrepreneur. It's not an easy one, and it takes a while to replace your income. I still have not come anywhere near replacing my income with this business, but I'm deciding to step it up. I'm deciding to not only work smarter, but work harder. And that's why I'm going to be doing 3 streams a day, Mondays through Fridays. And if I'm available on a Saturday or Sunday, and I'm not hanging out, going hiking, or doing a dinner with my activity partner, then I will do 3 streams on a weekend day as well. I'm going to keep pushing forward, folks, because I want to help as many people as possible. And I really want to take this channel to the next level. 8-Bit Reactors in the house. The Morning Rooster is back. LOL, the Morning Rooster. How about one more time? How about one more time for the cock? This is the cock, folks. Cock-a-doodle-doo. All right, let's see who we have in the house here right now. We've got 12 in the box right now. Thank you so much for being here. I'm only going to be on until 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a very short stream. I just wanted to introduce to you folks that I'm going to be doing 2 additional streams on top of my main stream every day. They're going to be streams where you can ask Coach Eli anything, and I will help you for free. You can ask those questions on the chat, or not on this episode. I'm not going to bring anybody on Hangouts during this episode because there's not enough time. But when I start doing these, impromptu shows tomorrow, they're going to be, I'll tell you honestly, they're only going to be about anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes max. They're not going to be any longer than an hour and a half. They won't be any shorter than 30 minutes. On average, they'll be about 60 minutes. And if people want to come join me on the panel, if they want to ask me questions while on the panel or help me answer questions from people that are asking them in the chat, that would be great. So it's going to be an impromptu thing. Typically, I'll be doing one of these Ask Coach Eli streams, Ask Coach Eli Anything streams, general subscriber hangout. Probably around, morning time, probably around 9 or 10 o'clock Pacific, which is, 12 or 1 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll do my regular stream probably sometime in the afternoon, early evening on the East Coast. And then probably somewhere around this time, I will be doing another stream. Probably I'll start these earlier, probably at about 8 o'clock and go until about 9:30 or 9, depending on, how it's going and how many questions I have. So that's how that's going to go. 14 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. Lord Gaelick's in the house. Welcome, Lord Gaelic. Welcome, Jax, the Tiny Helper. 712. Hello. Simply Deep, 1985. What a big ass cock. I mean, the background. LOL. Yeah, that's a cock. A rooster is a cock. That's where the term came from, And I'm the morning rooster because I'm here to awaken your success. You know what the morning rooster does every morning, bright and early? It does the cock-a-doodle-doo. And it wakes your ass up and annoys the shit out of you, but at least it does its job, right? It's better than any fucking alarm clock, right? So let's see who else is here. We have Simply Deep 1985. How would you handle an embarrassing moment? So how's my night going? It's going great. McNoodles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Wolf America's butt. Here we go. Yep. Let's see. It's a twofer, says Lucy earlier. Thank you for being here, Lucy. Let's see. Simply Deep 1985. How would you handle an embarrassing moment? Well, when I was younger, Simply Deep 1985, I had a lot of embarrassing moments, but I lacked a lot of self-confidence within myself. So I was afraid to handle it. I wanted to run and hide. I wanted to do what many people still do nowadays, even as they've grown up to be an adult. But as I got older in life, once I started hitting my early to mid 30s, and especially now in my especially now in my 40s, I'm in my mid 40s, I'm 45. I've become bulletproof. I have so much self-confidence within myself that I don't get embarrassed pretty much by anything. Now, do I have emotions and do things that go wrong hurt me? Absolutely. I mean, I'm a normal human being, and just because I'm a man doesn't mean I don't have fucking emotions. We all do. But not much really embarrasses me. What's the worst that can happen? A group of people out here on the internet can laugh at me. They can, do a response video and, critique me. What's the worst that could happen? As long as you know what can happen and you're okay with that within yourself and you're a strong person like I've become in my life, that's how I handle embarrassing moments. They don't embarrass me anymore. I just kind of say, okay, I guess I fucked up, Like one of my most embarrassing moments people, thought was when my ex broke up with me almost a year ago, and I had my meltdown on my former channel where I was crying. I was singing the Chicago song. I acted foolishly, but I was hurt, and it was my outlet to let it out. But let me tell you something. If I look back at that moment now, I'm not embarrassed by it, because you know what? I went through that, and that was a way for me to cope with that shit. It was a coping mechanism for me. And you know what? It took me about 3 months after that time to really get over it. But after 3 months, I started bouncing back. I shut down my former channel. Then 3 months later, I came back, and I've been back ever since. And I've been pushing forward. And that's how I handled that. Now, Simply Deep 985 says, also, what made you want to do YouTube videos, or what or who inspired you? I became an entrepreneur, well over 10 years ago, probably going on, 11, 12 years now. And I used to run in-person networking events, and I used to attend a lot of other events. And there were a lot of speaking opportunities throughout many of these networking events. And I had done some public speaking back in my corporate days, but I was never really a public speaker. I didn't become a really good public speaker until I started speaking at these networking events. And what you do at these networking events when you're networking your business, you do presentations regarding your business. So I did some insurance presentations. When I started running my own networking organization, other networking organizers within the area would invite me to talk about my organization and how we differ from other organizations. So I really enjoyed doing that. And then when I went through a breakup, not my last breakup, 2 breakups ago with the veterinarian that cheated on me. Some of you know the story about that. This is 2 relationships ago. I stopped running in-person networking events because they just weren't really getting the same traction anymore. More and more people started coming online. So I said, you know what? I still want to network with people. I still want to do public speaking. I used to do some podcasting back in my networking days for an internet radio station that one of my friends still runs to this day. And I said, what if I take the same concept and do it on YouTube? And what if I do what I've also been doing for the last 10 plus years through my networking events and the in-person networking events I used to run within my organization? I help people, right? I helped coach people become a better entrepreneur. I've also helped people understand their relationships better. I said, you know what? I can do that out here on YouTube. And you know what? All I need is a computer, some lights, a microphone. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a pretty nice setup compared to most people. I'm not trying to show off. But I said to myself, I don't have to even go anywhere. I can do this out of my home office. And that's what inspired me to get it going. Actually, my breakup with my ex that, broke up with me, not broke up, she cheated on me, so we broke up. This was like 2 relationships ago. It was because of that inspired me to come out here and help other men, but other women at the same time, see the signs when something's going wrong, so they don't have to go through what I went through. There's nothing worse than having a partner, cheat on you in a relationship, and then, while they're trying to figure out if the person they're cheating with is going to work out and be sustainable, they keep you around. And once they figure that the other person's going to be with them because they're more attracted to them, maybe sexually, or maybe something else attracts them to the other person more so, then they kick your ass to the curb. So I wanted to give back, share my stories, share my experiences, and help other people not go through what I went through. So yeah, that's that. Let me see what else is in the chat here right now. So Matt Ossie Bushman's back. Howdy, y'all. We got 15 in the box right now. 15 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. It's 12:11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 9:11 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We're going to go another 19 minutes. We're going to wrap this up at 12:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Pacific. And I'll be back tomorrow for 3 more streams. 3 more streams. But here's the thing, folks. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't know. And if anybody else has any other questions, please put them in the chat right now so I have enough time to respond to them before the show ends here tonight. You can ask me anything, any question. It can be computer related. It can be relationship or marriage related. It can be business related, whether you're an entrepreneur, want to be an entrepreneur, whether you're in the corporate world or work with somebody else and you want to transition to being an entrepreneur, or you want to, switch careers because you're unhappy with the career that you're currently at, or maybe you're at a job where you're not getting promoted. I can help you overcome that. I've been through all that. So, make sure you ask your questions right now, and I will respond to them in a second. But yeah, these impromptu shows, like I said, I'm going to do a minimum of 2 every day plus my regular streams. So a minimum of 3 streams coming from me. And they're going to be anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes, depending on how much time I have. And, even if I have the time to run a 90-minute stream, they may only, it may only be necessary to run it for 30 or 60 minutes. I want to be here every day for you folks and answer all of your questions. I really want to help support as many of you as possible and give back to you folks. Many people have been donating lately. By the way, if you want to donate, Nightbot shared the link to my PayPal. You can make a one-time PayPal donation in any amount by going to paypal.me/Coach Eli. You can leave a message of any note, and I'll read that live on the air. Or you can also write in that message box that you'd like to remain anonymous, and I will respect that. I will definitely respect your privacy. I do not dox anybody at all. But yeah, so like I said, more than likely these impromptu streams will be before and after my main stream. I will probably be doing my main stream. Typically I'll do it around 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern, 1 or 2 p.m. Pacific for about 2 to 3 hours. Whether it be, like I said earlier, an interview, whether I'm critiquing a video, or whatever else I'm doing. We do many things here. That mainstream will typically be around 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern, 1 or 2 p.m. Pacific. Then, in the morning or early afternoon, depending on what part of the U.S. you're in, will be one of these impromptu, hangouts where you can ask me anything at all. And then in the evening, I will do another one, typically around this time, maybe a little bit before that. So that's the way it's going to go from here on out. Now let's see, what do we have here? The Mad Aussie Bushman says, Eli, what is your opinion regarding the very best laptop that one Bushman could purchase and why? Well, let me tell you what I have. Okay. Now I upgraded this laptop because when I got it, it had an i5 processor with 4 gigs of RAM. I updated this to a Pentium i7 quad-core processor, 3.1 gigahertz with 16 gigs of RAM. I also upgraded the hard drive to a Crucial, I believe it's the MX500, 2 terabyte solid state hard drive. And it really didn't cost me that much. The hard drive actually was the most expensive part. It was about $350 for a 2 terabyte solid state hard drive, which is actually pretty cheap for 2 terabytes because it used to be $350 for like 100 gigabytes for a solid state drive. And solid state drives run a lot smoother. But the most important 2 things that you need, Bushman, are RAM and processor. So what I would recommend you get is a minimum i7 quad-core processor. Now they have 6 and 8 core processors nowadays. So, I'd probably go with an i7 6 or 8 core processor. I'd probably go with a minimum of 3 gigahertz, preferably 4 or 5 gigahertz. I would go with a minimum of 16 gigs of RAM. You don't really need much more than that unless you're doing some really crazy server shit. But if it's cheap to go to 32, go to 32 gigs. But 16 gigs of RAM, it'll run Photoshop, it'll run OBS, it'll run everything. So, i7, minimum quad-core processor, preferably 6 cores or 8 cores, minimum 3 gigahertz, possibly 4 or 5, depending on the price, 16 gigs of RAM minimum, and a solid-state hard drive. I would not go with a mechanical hard drive. A solid-state hard drive is faster and smoother. I've had 0 issues since I made the upgrades. So that should help you out a lot there, Bushman. Let me know what you think about that. 8-Bit Reactor, I'm part of a paranormal team, and we have to let a member that they are no longer on the team. Let him know, you meant, right? They have anger problems. How would we go about letting him know without pissing them off? Is this somebody I know, bro? Is this the dude that was on my channel? let me know, 8-bit. Let me know. At 8-bit reactor, that sounds very interesting. The paranormal stuff, I mean, and regarding that person, straight up, honesty would be best in my honest opinion. I agree with that. I want to wait and hear from 8-bit if that's the same person that was on my channel. Carl Childers, what are your health issues? With your health issues and near constant illness, are you sure 3 days are safe for you? I'm beginning to think you're a troll, Carl, for asking those questions. I'm beginning to think that you're blue ball branded, because I don't have constant health issues. I'm very, very healthy. I've been to my doctors. I'm healthy. I get sick just like everyone does. But sometimes when I get a head cold, and this happens to many people, if you have a head cold, I'm not sick, but sometimes there's so much mucus that it clogs your ears. Like right now, my ears are 50% clogged, and it takes sometimes up to 3 months for that to unnaturally clog. So there's nothing wrong with my health. And quite frankly, Carl, I'm beginning to think you're somebody that's trolling me here with that kind of a question. Is a Core i7 or Ryzen 7 more powerful? The most powerful processor, in my opinion, is an Intel. I would always go with an Intel processor over anything else. The only thing better than an i7 is an i9, but that's more of a business, high-end, very expensive processor. If money is not an issue and you got money coming out of your ass and your ears, I'd go with the i9. But i7 would be great. 8-bit reactor. Here's the thing. They have anger problems. How would we go about letting him know without pissing them off? Well, here's the thing. There's no way to not piss somebody off that has anger issues. So the only thing you can do is make them aware and say, hey, dude, I know this is going to make you mad because, I can tell you're going through something right now, and you're constantly angry. And to be honest with you, dude, it's disturbing the peace of this group. And this is not the purpose of the group. Now, here's the thing, bro. Are you going to be able to control your anger? Because if not, we're going to have to remove you from this group. So I would first give them a warning and say, hey, dude, look, you don't want to kick somebody out without making them aware of the issue first and giving them a chance to not do it again. Just like the trolls in here. I always warn them. I warn the trolls that if you do this again, I'm going to ban you. And then they do it automatically because they're trying to trigger me, right? And then they complain about me banning them, but I said, look, I gave you a warning. And you intentionally, came at me again and did the same thing I warned you about. So now you're gone. And now I just ignore them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro, I would give them a warning. I would make them aware as politely as possible. I would say, hey, dude, I know it's going to upset you. Something's really bothering you right now. Something's affecting you and making you mad all the time. And to be honest, it's not something that people really want to be around. We want to be around positive people. And if he overreacts to you when you give him that warning, say, well, hey, dude, look, if you're not going to, stop being angry like this, I'm going to have to remove you right now. I want to give you a chance, bro. But can you calm down and be reasonable? Because I really don't want to let you go. The only reason I'm going to have to let you go is if you're not willing to play by the rules and be reasonable, right? That's all you can do. And if they're anything like these MGTOW guys have been dealing with, I've given them many chances, and they keep getting angry. They keep overreacting. They don't learn. They don't listen. They don't follow rules. They don't like to abide by rules. So you just got to let them go eventually, and then just block them and ignore them. That's all you can do. That's it, man. That's the way to do it. Matt Aussie Bushman says, at Eli, I recommend you have a large dose of wasabi. It does wonders for clearing sinuses, etc. Well, I'll tell you what I've been taking lately to try to clear my ears. And I heard my ears starting to pop today, so it's about to clear itself up. And by the way, Carl Childers is Blue Ball branded because he's the only one, him and a sister are the only two that have been following me around long enough to know every so often I get a cold, and sometimes if it's a head cold, it lasts a little longer, even though I've recovered because of sinuses and all that. It just happens. Some people have it worse than others. But I'll be watching you, Carl Childers, aka Blue Ball Brandon, coming in on multiple socks because you keep getting banned. But anyway, I've been using what the hell is that shit? With pseudoephedrine in it. Sudafed. And Sudafed, what it does is it basically helps, stop, it controls the sinuses. It clears you up for a little bit. What I should have purchased at the market, at the store, was Mucinex. Mucinex with pseudoephedrine in it. What it does is it loosens up mucus to release it faster. A lot of times when you get a head cold, even once you've recovered and you're not sick anymore, a lot of that shit gets lodged up in your ears and it fucking dries up. And it will not clear up your ears until eventually it loosens up on its own and it starts coming down through your throat, and then you spit it out. That's the way it happens. For people that have sinuses, you know what I'm talking about. So that's that. But yeah, I'll give that a chance. Wasabi. All right. Sounds good. Good shit. Good shit. Lucy says, at a grip on life, what would you do if you had an unemployed 34-year-old son still living at home? I'm not going to answer that question, Lucy. Because I know where you're going with that. I think I think I've answered that question quite enough. And that was a good troll, bro. I know you're not a troll, dude, but that gave me a good laugh. Thank you for giving me a good chuckle tonight, brother. Appreciate that. 8-Bit Reactor says, well, let me do one thing here real quick. I have not checked my PayPal. So you still have 13 in the box. Not too bad for right now. Not too bad. Let's see here. Let me just open up my PayPal real quick and see if any donations have come through. All right. Okay, no new donations, no problem. Again, folks, if you want to donate to the OBS training fund, I'm going to be doing a free private live OBS stream this Tuesday. I'll talk more about that here in a few minutes. I'm about to wrap this up in a few. You can donate paypal.me/Coach Eli. Nightbot just shared the link. You can leave a message of any length. I'll read that live on the air. If I don't get to it tonight, I'll get to it on one of the shows tomorrow. If you prefer to remain anonymous, just make sure you mention that within your message, and I will respect your privacy. I do not dox anybody here. We have warned them multiple times, and the other members, we all voted, and they don't want them in the group. Well, you know what? You have the right to have whoever you want in your group or not. Here in the U.S., you have the right to refuse service to anyone, especially if this is an internet group and there's no membership fee or there's no contract. If you want to kick him out, you kick him out. Is it a Discord? I mean, you guys have to decide what works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, and if it's getting in the way of moving all you guys and gals forward in that group, if one person is bringing down a large amount of people, the smart answer is to take out the one person that's ruining it for 50 other people or 30 or 20 other people. I mean, you gotta use common sense and do what makes the most sense. Like for me, I had to get rid of a lot of people from the MGTOW community and the Manosphere community, and even some women that follow that content, because it was just so fucking toxic. I did. My numbers went down a bit, and there are other reasons why they're down because people are continuing to restream me and do stupid shit like that. But I've decided to move past it and move forward from it. I'm just going to move forward and build with new people. And that's what I've been doing. I've been going to other people's streams. I've been networking. I'm going to be collaborating with somebody else that I'm going to be talking with tomorrow, along with 8-Bit Reactor and Frostwolf. And this person I'm going to be talking to knows 8-Bit and knows Frostwolf. So I look forward to that. So, you know, you gotta take out the trash, man. And I hate to put it that way, but you know, if one person is bringing down a lot of people, and the group has spoken and said, look, we voted him out. He's got to go. I'm sure they've given them many chances in the past, especially if you've given them 1, 2, or 3 other chances, you got to say enough is enough. Just like I gave the MGTOW Manosphere people like 5 chances. And now I said enough is enough. Now the only way they're going to come back is if they each pay me $100. If they pay me $100, I'll let them come back in. And then if they talk shit again, I'll ban them again. Then it'll be $500. Then it'll be $1,000 every time after that. If they keep paying me money to talk shit about me, I'll let them talk shit. But if they're going to come here and just troll and not contribute anything constructively and not pay me any money, any donations to support my business and my vision here, they're gone. That's it. You know? Let's see here, because I got to really wrap this up. Final question I'm going to take here is from Matt Aussie Bushman. I'm wrapping it up. Ed Eli, would you consider making a video one day soon on how to set up blue green screen and microphones and overall stream setup that you use? I know that I sure would appreciate that one. I'll probably do that live. I've already had requests on that, Bushman. I'm going to do a green screen tutorial because I had to figure it out on my own. Let me tell you, it takes a lot. Like I mentioned on a stream, I believe yesterday, okay, what you're seeing behind me here is a picture, right? And now I'm a transparent image in front of this picture, okay? If I look behind me, I'm looking at a green piece of felt. That image behind me is actually an actual image that's been put behind me through OBS. But it appears like there's a background behind me, okay? And now, if you look very closely at me, you can see a few fuzzy lines. You got that's called chroma keying. It's not easy to chroma key. And basically, if you want to do it right, you have to have the right green screen felt backdrop. It's hanging on my wall behind me. And if you want to have the right lighting, you have to independently light the green screen from yourself. So I have 4 lights in here. 4 photographer's lights / LED lights. On the green screen, I'm using 2 photographer's lights that brighten up the screen. So that way my camera can pick up the actual chroma green color. And when I go to key it out through OBS, it does a pretty good key. As you can see, it's pretty good. Now, if you look closely, it's not perfect. It can never be perfect. But if you look closely, like around the edges here, you can see a little staticky and shit. Sometimes you can't help that. It just happens, okay? But that's all based on how good your lighting is. I have pretty good lighting, so you can barely notice it, especially if you look back from a distance, okay? But 2 photographer's lights independently lighting just the green screen. And then in front of me, like over here, I have a light high up shining down. It's an LED light that's shining at my face. And over here, I have a light that's coming sideways to fill out the shadow from this side. Okay? Because and this side here, both sides, from this side. Because if I don't have that light coming on this side here, like let me just show you for example. If I turn off my side light, let me do this real quick. Now, if I turn off my side light, look at that. Do you see how much less light I have? Right? I have the front light, but now it's shitty, right? But if I turn on my side light again, hang on. I hope they don't have to refocus this shit. I'm going to refocus it just to be on the safe side, but I really got to wrap this up in a second. You see how much light is back now? Okay? So when it comes to properly green screening, I will share with you folks. I pretty much just shared with you the concept of the lighting, which is one part, but then you have to learn how to do a good chroma key and key yourself out. So that way, the background image, you're transparent over the background image and it looks like there's a backdrop behind you. So that is that. So hopefully that answers your question there, Bushman. I've got to get going, folks. I'm going to be back tomorrow, probably around 1 Eastern, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with another one of these general subscriber hangouts. It'll be number 2, Ask Coach Eli Anything. And then I'll be back for my main show later on, a few hours, 2-3 hours after that. And then I'll be back in the evening for another general subscriber hangout. Now, I'm going to wait just one more second here. Actually, hang on a second. I may have a few more minutes here. Shit. I had to make a phone call, but give me a second. Okay, I can go a little bit longer here. I was going to make a phone call. I was going to talk to my activity partner to make plans to go hiking this weekend, but she just sent me a text and said that I got to go pick up my sister at the bar. So her sister's probably a little toasty. And she'll let me know when she gets home so we can briefly talk. It still looked good with the light off. Not as good though, bro. Not as good. If you look closely, you'll be able to tell the difference, dude. What the side lighting does is it fills up your shadows. Like, the side lighting fills up your shadows. Folks, I did a lot of research on lighting and proper green screening when I first, I didn't really focus on green screening until about maybe 3, 4, or 5 months ago when I started using the green screen, like 4 months ago. But I did a lot of research on lighting when I started my former channel. So I learned a lot about, having one of the lights. You want to have 2 lights, one coming right at you, high up, facing down, okay? Not overly high up, but high up enough to where you're getting a lot of light. And then you want to have a side light filling up the shadows of the other side. Because see, my high up light on this side here is actually hitting my right side of my face here. But see, that light does not hit this side. So that creates a shadow effect. Plus, when you have an extra light, it makes it a little bit brighter and makes it look a lot better. So that's something very important, folks. Lighting is freaking huge. It makes all the difference between having a good picture or not, especially if you're outdoors with sunlight. There's nothing better than that. But if you're indoors and you're recording from a studio and you have the right lighting, it doesn't matter whether it's dark outside or whether it's bright. It doesn't matter. And you want to be in a room that is completely dark, or as close to being as dark as possible when you're using this lighting, because it works best when there's no other lighting in the way. Like in this room, I have lights above that I can turn on, but they are a little bit of a different color. These are soft white lights. If I were to turn on those lights, it would be a little even more brighter, but it would throw off the color. So that's something that that I just figured out. And when I do the OBS, I'm not going to talk about lighting unless somebody asks about lighting on the OBS tutorial. When I do the green screen live stream tutorial, which will probably happen over the next couple of weeks, then I'll address all of that. And a lot of what I just mentioned here, I'm going to mention it again. At least I pretty much mentioned the lighting aspect of it, but then we're going to go in and do some chroma keying. And the cool thing is, folks, I figured out a way, because I know how to, do a few little legal hacks to install a second OBS that's fresh. That won't fuck up my. It won't screw up my. Well, let me just show you real quick here. Shit. Let me launch that shit. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm not fucking around with the other screen because I have a few more minutes. So if I go over to the email browser, so by the way, folks, type in A Grip on Life 2 and subscribe to A Grip on Life 2 because I'll be doing some live streams there. My audio is just fine. Your phone is messed up. Why don't you do this? If you're on your YouTube app, my audio is always perfect. Bushman, is my audio off? It's probably not even off at all. It's not. A lot of times it's the YouTube app. So what you want to do, shut down the YouTube app, start up the stream again, and I bet you it's back in sync. Yeah, Lucy, is my audio off from my lips? It should be just fine. It should be just fine. I worked on that. Yeah, let me know, Lucy. Is my audio in sync with my lips? It should be. Like, I'll check it out right now on my iPhone. I am on a laptop. Okay. Here, I'll check it out right now. I'll check it out right now. Let me see here. Give me a second. It should be. Like, I'll check it out right now on my iPhone. I'm on a laptop. Okay. Here, I'll check it out right now. Perfect. It is perfectly in sync. They need to reset their phones. Yeah, a lot of times, folks, I've had this problem with my iPhone before. There are times where if you don't restart your phone or you're running your YouTube app all day, the YouTube app will screw up audio and video, and it'll be a little bit out of sync. But I've worked hard. Trust me, I used to be so out of sync trying to figure this shit out. But Butchman says audio is perfect. I worked hard to sync this shit up. And let me tell you, there's a lot of crazy stuff I'll show you folks behind the scenes on OBS, okay, where you can use what's called sync offset, especially if you're using virtual audio cables like I use. You can sync up, let's say your camera is, a few seconds off. You can delay your audio to catch up with it. So no worries on that. Thank you so much. Let's see. I was going to show you folks on OBS where you go to do the chroma keying. So, but yeah, go and subscribe to A Grip on Life 2, uncensored live streams. Got 26 subs there. Subscribe, bang the bell, and make sure you select all notifications. And I'm going to be doing some streams there, probably starting very soon. Definitely when this channel hits 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to start doing more of the streams that are not advertiser friendly, but are still within community guidelines, because I want to be fully monetized on this channel here. So if you haven't done that, subscribe to A Grip on Life 2, uncensored live streams. Just type in A Grip on Life 2, like it shows at the top up there, and you'll be good. Now, let me do this. I've got my other instance of OBS running, which is a totally clean instance for this training. And let me switch over to display capture. And now you see it's repeating what I'm seeing right here. So don't mind this crazy shit. Now you're going to see this here. Okay? Now in OBS, okay, when you go into OBS, like, there's a lot of stuff to set up, but when you're setting up your sources, once you set up everything else, this is kind of like a little sneak preview of what you guys are going to get on this private tutorial. You hit the plus sign, and then you want to add your video capture device. And you see it says create new, okay? You can actually name this shit whatever you want, webcam or whatever, right? Click on OK, right? Now, I got to make sure I don't fuck this up because I want to just switch this over to my webcam on my laptop because I don't want it to fuck up. Oh boy. Am I fucking frozen here? Oh shit. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. I think I'm frozen. Hang on a second. Am I back? Huh. Come on. Because I'm running another instance here, I think that screwed it up. I'm going to deactivate it. Okay. Am I back being active yet over here? Shit. Okay, thanks for the email. Let me figure this out 1 second here, 8-bit. Come back. Am I fucking frozen or what? Shit! Deactivate, activate. Bring me back. Bring me back. There I am. It screwed things up. Something's definitely wrong with what? There's nothing wrong on my end. Carl Childers. Nothing wrong. I'm running a second instance of OBS and I tried to launch a secondary webcam to show you guys an example and it conflicted with what was happening here. But if you see me right now, I should be crystal clear and in sync. And I'm going to check that right now. Just to double check. Let's see. Carl Childers. Nothing wrong. I'm running a second instance of OBS and I tried to launch a secondary webcam to show you guys. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Now, let me see if I can show you this. Now, I've got this webcam disabled here, but if you click, once you have your video source, if you click on that source there, you right click, this pop-up box pops up. Oh shit, I'm not even showing you guys. Let me go back and show you guys. Shit. All right. So once you have your webcam source installed onto OBS, which I'm going to show you folks that on the OBS tutorial, and when we do the green screen, I'll show you that as well, the green screen one. You want to right click and you want to click on filters, okay? And then this is going to pop up right here. And you see you have something down here. Let me just minimize that. You have something down here called effect filters and audio video filters. Like right here, if you want to add like a delay, like a video delay, if your audio is off, you can add a video delay by adding this. But let me show you folks here. When you have a green screen, in order to key it out, all you have to do is go down here, click the plus sign, click on chroma key, click on OK, and now all this box pops up right here. I want to see on my phone if this is coming through okay. A video delay? Yeah, I think it's coming through just fine. Okay, let me just see. Let me see if it's going through just fine. Here we go. Okay. I know the chat box is kind of in the way here. Let me move this off the side here. So now, there are many different types of green screens. You can use blue, magenta, custom color, or green. The most used one is green because that's a color that people wear the least. And if you're using a green screen, you cannot wear anything green or else it'll key out anything that you're wearing that's green. So by default, it's selected on green. And in order to set everything up, you have similarity, smoothness, and key color spill reduction. Between these three right here is how you create a great transparent chroma key, a transparent image like you see when I'm live on the air. So let me just go ahead and delete that because I want to have a fresh second copy of OBS to do the tutorial here. And let's just go back over here and back to, whoops, I'm on the wrong screen there. Let's go back to full screen there. So does that make sense to you, Matt Aussie Bushman? I just pretty much showed you everything, but I did it really quick. I'm going to show you folks a real live example of it when I actually do it. And it's going to be interesting. I may have to actually do it from not the other OBS, from within this one right here, because I cannot have two video sources running on two different instances of OBS. And I only installed the second instance into a different folder so I can, show you folks from scratch how to start up OBS and how to set it up properly. So that is that. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, cool. All good. Damn, Bushman always wears green. Well, then, Bushman, then you can get, you can get, what is it? Chroma key. You can get blue or magenta. You can get a blue screen. Then get a blue screen. But then you can't wear anything blue, or get both. Get green and blue so you can switch them up. I mean, you can even buy green screens that are blue on one side and green on the other side. And I wouldn't recommend those because there could be some bleed through, which could affect you from getting a really good chroma key. Like you see me transparent. Like, look, if I were to turn off my green screen background picture, you're going to see black there. You see? And that's because the camera and OBS has keyed out the green behind me and made this transparent. You see that? I am transparent over this shit. And so is my microphone here. Okay? Now, if I were to, let me just show you an example here. I'm going to show you this live on the fly here. I'm not going to fuck up my settings. Okay? Let's see. I'm at 406. Okay? I'm at 406. If I were to do this, watch what happens. You see that? Look what happens. See the green screen back there? You see that? Okay? But look, when I turn up the similarity, look at that. Okay? Now let me go back to 406 and get the perfect setting that works as best as possible for me. All right? Now I can put the picture behind me. How's that, man? Yes, thanks, Eli. Muchas gracias. Use magenta. Yeah, you can. But the thing is, if you're going to use any color between, with the exception of green, blue, or magenta, and magenta's one that actually is another decent color. But some people like to wear magenta. Green is the least used color, in my opinion. It's the least color that I use. So that's why I have a green screen. That's why most people use a green screen. But other people have green, blue, and magenta. So that way, if they're going to wear, one of the other colors that is the same color as one of their green screens, they can just use another green screen. So that's up to you how deep you want to get into it. I'm good with the green screen. I just never wear green when I'm on the air. And if there's a little bit of green somewhere, you'll see a little fuzz, but that doesn't really affect it that much, in my opinion. I very rarely wear green when I go out, every so often, but green to me is the least used color for clothing. So, anyway. But how's that, man? How's that, Bushman and Lucy? That was awesome, huh? See, folks, look, I mean, I'm here to really help you folks out. I'm a very knowledgeable person with technology, with relationships, with business and all that. I mean, I've been kicked down, maybe I'll do a little Eminem, Have you ever been hated or discriminated against? I have. I've been protested and demonstrated against. Picket signs of my wicked lines. Okay, shit. I mean, I have been hated and discriminated against. I have. I've been protested and demonstrated against. I have. And 8-Bit, if you're still here, it was funny. 8-Bit Reactor and I were having a private conversation with myself and Mr. Asistoli behind the scenes. I'm sorry, man. I had to mention that. It was funny. I'm like, you know what? The next time Paranormal Mama comes around, I'm just going to sing some Eminem, cleaning up my closet. I'm sorry, Paranormal Mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry. But tonight, I'm cleaning up my closet. One more time. I said, I'm sorry, Paranormal Mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry. But tonight, I'm cleaning up my closet. I bet you anything that Paranormal Mama is gonna, find out from somebody that's lurking around that I was singing about her. And Paranormal Mama, I never did hurt you. I never did. I never did anything wrong to you. I just don't know what the hell happened. I don't know. It's not the first time it's happened with her. She's gone back and forth like 2 or 3 times. I appreciate it, Eli. Here's to all the haters. Yeah. Hey, wow, that looked like a hardcore swarm of malaria-infested mosquitoes. Are you talking about the green screen and shit? Yeah. Well, you got to key it out, man. Because basically, in order to make a transparent image of whatever the camera picks up, and you want to put a different background behind it, you got to make the background transparent. Or you got to make your image transparent, which is by removing the background and anything around that your camera sees. So that way I can put any picture behind me, and that's what you'll see. That's why I can sit here and, I can switch background pictures on the fly. Like one of my favorite ones is this one. Karma has no deadline. I love this one. This is my favorite background. Karma has no deadline. Whenever I put this up, karma happens. Yeah, get everything out of that closet, brah. What are you talking about, bro? Are you a troll? Bill Bobson? Bill Bobson. Okay. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to get going here. I haven't heard from my activity partner yet, but she'll be probably reaching out soon. And she goes to bed pretty early, but I need to talk to her to make the plans. I'm not going to talk with her tomorrow. I'm probably going to be streaming my late night hangout tomorrow night for several hours because I'm not going to be talking with her tomorrow. So, and I'm not going to be hanging out with her tomorrow, not until Saturday morning. So that's going to do it here. Oh, by the way, folks, if you want to sign up for the free OBS extensive tutorial live here on my channel, it's going to be a private stream, not unlisted and not public. You're going to need to email me at Coach Eli at coacheli@millennials.com. Look below in the description for the link, or for the actual email, not the link, the email. Send me an email in the subject line. Say, I want to be a part of the free OBS stream, private stream. And make sure you send me that email from the YouTube account, the YouTube/Google account that you use to log into YouTube. Because that's the email I'm going to give access to. And you're going to need to sign in from that account in order to access the stream. Okay? So go ahead and do that. That's going to do it, folks. Have yourselves a great night. I'll be back tomorrow for 3 more streams. And I'm going to figure this all in between my day job, my insurance business, and all of that, folks. I am here for you folks, okay? Have yourselves a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye! Bye!